I want to make a very simple point about something. Sometimes we get into organizations or groups and we think that that group best expresses our ideals. If we have an ideal, we have something we want to say. But we, by ourselves, we just don't have that power. And then we get with that group and wow, they say exactly what we were thinking. But if you get with that group long enough, you begin to realize that there's some things they say that you agree with, but some things they say you totally disagree with. And if you try to tell them that no, I don't agree with that, then you get a lot of friction. Maybe even some hostile reactions, depending on how the group is. So you learn to just keep your mouth shut. You learn to just go along to get along. You learn to love all those wonderful things that they believe in. And the other things they believe in that you don't agree with, you kind of just minimize those in your mind. So you have an off-balance view of things. You trivialize the stupid stuff and you maximize the good things. And I think that's true in every organization. That's why I don't like being part of an organization. Sometimes you're in things because it's just circumstances, you have to deal with it. But, when you choose to be part of a group, that's what happens. I think that's one of the things I think about with, it's one of the reasons why I probably will never really become an atheist. I agree with many things they say, but not everything. One thing I don't agree with is the conclusion that there's no God. I don't agree with that. But I do agree with many of the criticisms they have of religion and of religious people. I find myself so much in agreement that on my other channel, I have a lot of people who are atheists and agnostic who get on my channel because I think some of them, if I don't mention the fact that I believe in God, most people forget that. Because you could easily come to the conclusion that I was an atheist. Now, I don't walk around defending my belief in God because I realize I can't really defend it. I can't defend belief. Not only belief in God, but belief in anything. I can't defend my belief that this pen exists. But I don't have to. Just like I don't have to defend that this pen exists, I don't have to defend that God exists. See, the thing is, it would only be the case if I would try to push a belief on people. I don't. People freely choose. You either choose to believe something or you don't. And if you choose not to, fine. I don't have a problem with that. And I'm not trying to convert people. So, to me, I think that all these people, like this one guy who was so angry at me, because he thought I was just being so incredulous. You will not change. You won't change. You have to believe in God. No, actually his position was the opposite. Although the same thing, that's why I always think that people wind up being the same on either end of this issue. But his thing is, you won't become an atheist. He was like so upset because I wouldn't become an atheist. And obviously, from his point of view, I shouldn't believe in God because I can't prove that there's a God, and I can't defend my belief in God. And I admit it. That's why I just throw my hands up and surrender. I wave the white flag. I wave the white flag. I can't, I'm not arguing. If anybody want to argue with me, all you're going to be doing is just basically harassing me. And I let him know. If he kept doing it, I was going to block him. I didn't want to, and I don't ever want to block anybody. But, I'd like people to comment and say whatever you feel. But, if you keep on bugging me about you're doing to me what you say that religious people do to you, I can't, when I say I believe in God, that really tells you nothing. And you have to realize how much it actually tells you zero. If you really want to know what I mean, you have to have a conversation with me and listen to everything I talk about. I'm not going to explain that because it's not something that you can just explain in a simple video. What I mean by that. Perhaps once I finish explaining to you what I mean by God, you might say, well, you believe in God kind of like, as Dawkins would say, like the God of Einstein, the kind of, there's not really God, so therefore you really are. And you might come to that conclusion. And if you believe that, fine, I'm not arguing with you on that. But the thing is that I always think that I just don't see any point in arguing about something. And I do think about what some people have said. You know, if you're an atheist, this is not true of every atheist, but of a lot of people who get on YouTube. I'm going to say people who get on YouTube, which to me gives me zero insofar as understanding what are the real numbers of things. But there are the more vocal people who feel like they have to, it's like they're on this crusade. They have to go through tons of stuff of proving that there's no God and proving that there, you know. And I think there are lots of things in this world I don't believe. But I don't spend my time trying to prove the things I don't believe. It's funny because I don't do that, and I don't spend a lot of my time trying to prove what it is I do believe. I don't prove what I believe, and I don't prove what I don't believe. It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense on either side. Why should I prove to you what it is I believe? You know, when you look at science, science doesn't prove things that it believes. Science simply presents evidence and shows you the support of that evidence, and they may come to a conclusion about something and show you the evidence supporting that. Now, maybe their conclusions are wrong, and you can go through a procedure of overturning it by showing other evidence that indicates that they're wrong. You know, if I drop this thing, it will fall. That's evidence. I keep dropping it. I may drop it 25 times. So I come to the conclusion that every time I drop it, it will fall. Now, maybe that's not true. And if you can show some evidence that it won't, maybe you drop it and it goes up. It went up. You know, or like I did on my other channel. You know, I just kind of did this thing where I turn the camera upside down and say, I'm going to drop this object and it's going to fall. So let me drop it so it's going to fall, you know, it goes down. But actually all I did was just turn the camera upside down. The thing is that you can do that. It doesn't prove anything. You know. But never mind, forget that. That's not a good example, you know. But anyway, the thing is that what I'm trying to say is, if you could show evidence of you take an object and you release it and it goes up, then you've shown something. You've shown some evidence of something. But that's science. Science doesn't even operate in the same way that religion is. People with the religion proves that science is wrong. No, religion doesn't prove science wrong, or science doesn't prove religion is wrong. They're two completely different things. That's like saying my ice cream cone proves that cars don't exist. And somehow the arguments are really that silly at times. And so I decided to live at peace. And this is about the only video I'm really going to make that even addresses the religious arguments. Because I'm not in those debates. So, you know, in the future, when people start debating with me, I'm just going to send them this video. And that'll teach them a lesson.